Hi everybody, we're coming to you live from Jackalope Elementary, one of Dallas ISD's top blue ribbon schools. Happy to be here. We are here with Leslie Stevens, the Assistant Superintendent of School Leadership, to ask some of the most frequently asked questions regarding the start of school on September 8th. So how are you doing today, Leslie?
Good. Glad to be here.
All right, so to start off, the big question is, what is school going to look like when we start on September 8th?
So on September 8th, there's two options for the district right now. One is to go 4 weeks virtual, and the other option is where parents pick whether they want to send their child face-to-face or virtual.
And then let's say there is the in-person option. What safety measures are being put in place for our students and families and parents and staff?
So at this time, we have purchased hand sanitizer for entry points, whether it's on a bus or in the school building or even within and without of the classroom. So there'll be hand sanitizer, soap and water in all of our restrooms with paper towels, as well as we've bought individual hand sanitizers for the students to put on their backpacks. We also have 3 reusable cloth masks for both students and staff, as well as face shields for both students and staff. We've also purchased plexiglass, so those plexiglass dividers will go among the desks or between the desks, as well as on our tables in our cafeterias or common areas. And at the secondary level, we've bought individual plastic shields that students can take with them from class to class.
And circling back on that first question, you said there's still kind of a decision to be made whether it would be virtual only or a combination of virtual and in person. What will influence that decision when the administration makes it?
So at this time, the superintendent and his cabinet are looking at a variety of things, but one is guidance from Dallas County Health and Human Services. And in terms of that, they're looking at the statistics and the recommendation coming from that entity in terms of the number of cases, number of hospitalizations, the number of deaths, and all of those associated statistics, as well as we are currently undergoing a teacher survey and getting that feedback as well in terms of our teachers returning face-to-face or are they, doing the virtual, what their preference would be. And so using all of that data to make a final determination.
So correct me wrong, so if the administration determines there is still significant COVID threat, so the option is to have the first 4 weeks virtual, and then the Board of Trustees has the ability to then extend it another 4 weeks, meaning in this scenario, at this time, the plan would be that school could resume in person about mid-November. Do I have that right?
That is correct. So Texas Education Agency has put out the guidelines for districts, and that is the school district, depending upon the health conditions, can take up to 4 weeks and do totally virtual. At that point, we would need board approval to extend that by another 4 weeks, and that's looking at those statistics. So it would be in November sometime if they did the whole 8 weeks of virtual.
And so how long do parents have to declare whether they want to choose virtual or in-person learning if that is the option provided?
So the way the guidelines are written is parents start making that decision 2 weeks before the face-to-face instruction begins. So if we start in-person face-to-face instruction September 8th, that decision point is going to be August 25th. However, if we do the first 4 weeks virtual, then that decision point would be around September 21st when parents would make that decision.
So whether parents choose virtual instruction or that's the model Dallas ISD goes with, when school buildings unexpectedly closed in March, there was some pushback from parents saying maybe that instruction wasn't what they wanted to see. Is virtual instruction going to look similar to it did when school buildings unexpectedly closed in March, or what can you say to that?
So there was a vast difference between what we did at elementary level versus secondary last year. We had already deployed devices at the middle school and high school level, but we had not at the elementary level. So at the elementary level, we centrally posted what we called at-home learning plans that the parents used and did the instruction with their child. However, we are right now in the midst of rolling out the elementary deployment. It begins August 10th. We're doing 16 schools a day and we'll continue till we have our elementaries deployed. So the actual virtual instruction will look very different than what it did in March. And we're developing some sample schedules that parents could look at. And there are touch points by the teacher. They do the lessons. They may watch a video that the teacher's done or another teacher has done that they're using. So it will look very different than what we did in March when we did not reopen.
And so will students who choose virtual learning have to wear uniforms? A question we've gotten from several parents coming in.
Yes, so if the students are in a virtual environment and are not attending a Dallas ISD campus, then no, they do not have to do the dress code because they would be at home.
And then final question for right now. So what are some things parents can do right now to help prepare their child in the event that face-to-face learning is an option provided at the start of school?
So there are several things that parents could do. One is getting students used to wearing a face mask and face covering. Another is teaching their child proper hand washing, which is about 20 seconds long with soap and water. A lot of times kids will do things like sing happy birthday to themselves, using hand sanitizer. And one of the other ones is understanding what physical distancing means. And so if you go on family walks or those kind of things, practice that so that students do understand it, so that the first time they hear all of this is not when their teacher is giving them this information.
Thanks so much for sharing that. Again, go to dallasisd.org/reentry. It has a continually updated list of resources and information. And this is kind of a continuous improvement model, right? So we are looking for feedback from parents, from the community. I believe it's educationevolution@dallasisd.org. Please send your feedback. Safety is the top priority, it's the second top priority, it's the third top priority. So really, everything that could possibly being done is being done. Is that fair to say?
That is very fair to say. We have gone, I think, and followed all of the guidelines by the CDC, the county, and TEA in terms of safety for our students and staff.
Thanks so much, and thank you guys for tuning in.